Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to do part two of how do you know you're in a good relationship? Or how do you know you have a good relationship? Or how would you know, what would you know to aspire to in a good relationship? So yesterday was straight up good. If you have not seen yesterday, go back and watch yesterday's. And y'all listen up. All I can say is, it's dope because I got to tell you this story today, that I think is extremely profound, extremely profound. So we're going to get into it. I want to start off by saying the first thing is, here's the quote. I was talking to somebody that I know, and she had asked, for this particular relationship, particular type of relationship. She wanted a man who was attentive. She wanted a man who was all into her, who wanted a man who was about her. Yes. And then because she was dating a guy who was really not that attentive. She was dating a guy who, at the end of the day, really was more laid back. And so she met another guy, and this guy was super attentive, but the guy was almost somewhat possessive. So he told her, and he was like, where are you going? I want to be with you, whatever. Like today, Sunday, she was on Zoom calls, and she said, this is our day. And she was like, wow. She was like, on one hand, I wanted this. And I stopped her. I said, listen to me carefully. I said, the truth is, you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything you want. She thought about it for a moment. And I said, yeah. I said, true, you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything you want. And what do I mean by that? And then she got it. I said, the truth is, whatever it is you desire, you can have that. But you're going to have to sacrifice something else to get it. You can have a great relationship. You say, I want a person who's attentive. All right, cool. But then when the person gives you the attention, you're going to sacrifice that freedom. And I'm not simply saying the person is overbearing. I'm saying you're going to sacrifice that freedom that you have of being by yourself all the time. I said, so you might say, I want a great relationship. I want to be in a relationship. Okay, well, if you want to be in a great relationship, you can have that. You can have anything you want. But then you can't say, I want to live the single life if I want a great relationship. So you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything you want. And so y'all, you have to think about it from that perspective. So here it is. All right. So let's get started. The first day, yesterday we talked about the signs you're in a good relationship. And I talked about yesterday about communication. And I talked about communication. I talked about willingness. The person is willing to invest in you, their time, their effort, their money, all of those things. And I talked about all of those things. Now, what I'm going to say is we're going to get into part two. If you want to see part one, go and jump on that. All right. Part two. How do you know you're in a great relationship? So I gave you 4 yesterday. And so I want to give you, four more or 5 today. Just depends because I wrote down some different stuff. All right. Number 5. How do you know you're in a good relationship? Is the person you're with, you're allowed to be who you are. And this is a big one, y'all, because many times people are in relationships and they're pretending. They're pretending and they're projecting. Pretending is simply, I am pretending to be something other than who I am, or I am allowing myself to act in a way that is inauthentic to who I am. Okay, so you're pretending to be a way that you're not. The second thing is you're projecting. Then what I mean by you're projecting a persona of what you think the other person wants you to be, or what you think the other person will accept of you. And so what happens is you're not true to who you are. The way that you know that you're in a great relationship is simply this. A great relationship allows you to be authentic. It allows you to be transparent. If you're in a relationship that you can't be authentic, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're in a relationship and you have to fundamentally be someone different to be in that relationship, then that relationship probably won't last. It may last for a while. It may last for 5 years, 10 years. But at the end of the day, you're going to become so frustrated and you're going to resent the relationship and ultimately resent that person and then resent yourself for doing it. So how you know you're in a great relationship or a good relationship? Because the other person and you have decided that I am going to be me in the process. That's how you know, okay? That's how you know. That's number 5. Number 6 in the relationship. All right, ooh, I wrote this down, y'all. Number 6 is you trust each other without considerations. So when there's trust in a relationship, all right, trust is something that you give by getting. You get by giving it. So when you trust somebody, I trust you without conditions. Now, because trusting you with conditions is not trust. Trusting you with conditions is not trust. I trust you as long as I got the code to your Facebook page. I trust you as long as I got the code to your phone. That's not trust. That's not trust. What that is management. As long as I can manage you, I'm good. But trust is devoid of considerations and management. Meaning, I trust you even if I don't have your codes. Even if I don't have it, I choose. Trust is one of those things you choose to do. I choose to trust you. And see, y'all, trust is one of those things that I don't force on you. And the truth is I get trust by giving trust. I trust you first. Now I'm in a position for you to trust me. Because a lot of people have trust issues. Many of us have trust issues because of things that have happened in the past relationships, things that we've seen in our home life. For whatever reason, we have decided that I will trust you as long as blank, blank, blank. As long as I have that code, as long as you come home at 9 o'clock, as long as I can call you and you pick up, or I text you and you text right back. Those are trust with considerations, with stipulations, with requirements. And that's not trust at all. That's simply management. Y'all, I'll say this. You have evolved into a good relationship when you no longer have to rely on the considerations or the requirements for trust. I always tell people, you evolve to that. You evolve to that. And sometimes people aren't there. You evolve to it. And so you've got to understand and say to yourself, I choose to trust. I choose to. But the other thing is when the trust is broken, the other person has to earn. Trust is one of those things you have to earn it. You have to earn it. Even if the trust isn't broken before I give it to you, I've got to earn it. And so because I'm willing, and here's the thing, you have to be willing to earn it. A lot of people think trust should be just given to you. You say, okay, well, I'm in a relationship with you. You should just trust me. No, you earn the trust. And that's the thing I want to tell people. All right. Another sign that you're in a great relationship, a good relationship, is you make decisions together. You make decisions together. And so when you make decisions, see, in a good relationship, and I'm even talking about great, a good relationships, both parties are heard. You're willing to hear their voice. I'm willing to let you hear your voice. I'm willing to hear your voice. I'm willing to say, you know what? We have a process where we can make decisions together. We can make decisions together. And that's important to me. And so, y'all, you got to understand. What's up, Dart? What's up, Courtney? And you got to understand that if you're in a relationship and your voice cannot be heard, then the truth of the matter is you're not in a good relationship. Because each one of us wants our voice to be heard. And the way you let your voice be heard is you're allowed to have input on decisions in your relationship. And I've seen relationships where one person makes most of the decisions and the other person has to go along with it. When you have to go along to get along, more likely than not, you will ultimately reject that person because you felt like my voice isn't being heard. Okay? My voice isn't being heard. Now, all right, the next thing is this. Ooh, how do you know that you're in a good relationship? Truthfully, there's intimacy in the relationship. There's intimacy in the relationship. If there is not, I'm not talking about sex. Now, sex can be a part of intimacy, but intimacy is based on us sharing. Intimacy is based on us sharing our thoughts, our feelings, our deepest fears, our aspirations, our dreams, the things that make us scared, the things that that get us excited. Y'all, I always tell people, I say, listen, intimacy is based on asking questions, probing deeper, and looking to understand the answers. Now, intimacy is asking questions, probing deeper, and looking, trying, attempting to understand. I think I told everybody yesterday, I watched that Netflix show, Love is Blind. I love that show. I loved it. I binge watched every episode the whole weekend. Me and my wife watched the finale last night, and then we watched the reunion. And what I said was, I was like, wow, there's so many things to just unpack in that. And so what I want people to understand this, is you have to be in a situation where the other person that you're with, has to want to hear your voice. They have to want to hear what you have to say. And the way that they know that their voice is being heard is both of you have a process in the decision making. Period. Both of you have a process in the decision making. All right? And the last one, I'm not going to be here long today, and the last one, y'all, is you're in a good relationship when you make each other better. The relationship itself makes you better. So if you are in a relationship and the relationship is not making you better, you're not growing in it, you're not healing in it, then I would say that the relationship is not a great relationship. Because whether it's you want to learn a new trade, a hobby, take up something new, you want to grow personally, every relationship should be a mechanism, a vehicle that helps you grow. You help each other become better versions of yourself. If you're in a relationship, and I'm coaching somebody right now who's in a relationship, the other person does not want them to grow because the other person says, oh, you trying to get new. You're trying to get new. And they say, no, I'm not trying to get new. I'm just trying to be better. I'm just trying to grow. I want to pay off my debt. I used to spend and now I don't want to spend. I want to pay off my debt. I want to go back to school, all because they want to be better. And if you're in a relationship where the relationship itself helps you to become a better you, then that relationship is probably a good one. All right, y'all. That's my time. Not going to be on here long today. I'm out. I appreciate y'all. And until tomorrow, remember, every journey starts with one step. I'm out.